My name is Mary. I'm 41 years old, and I have a friend, Evelyn, who I've known since we were about 15 years old. We went to school together and have been close ever since. We're both married and stay at home wives, which allows us to focus on our families and homes. Our lives are pretty comfortable. Our husbands are successful and high achieving, which means they are often away from home due to work. Both of us have kids around 15 to 17 years old, living a life filled with luxury and opportunities. So Evelyn and I have always shared everything with each other, the joys and the struggles. But recently, things have changed, and I feel lost and in need of advice. Evelyn has started talking about her husband, Ron, in ways that make me deeply uncomfortable. A few months ago, during a drunken evening, she accidentally let slip that she's been unfaithful to him. I truly believe it was an unintentional confession, but ever since, she hasn't stopped talking about it. Every time she's been out, she tells me all the details. When, where, how, and with whom. Apparently, she's been involved with one of Ron's clients and even some of his employees. I've repeatedly asked her to stop sharing these details with me, but she ignores my requests. It's getting worse. Evelyn has started speaking about Ron in a degrading way. She says things like he's bad in bed, doesn't make enough money, even though I know he does, and complains about trivial things, like how he never helps with household chores or spends enough time with her because he's always busy with work. I tried pointing out that Ron works 70 to 80 hours a week to provide for her and maintain her lifestyle, but she just scoffed at it. The worst part is that Evelyn has forbidden me from talking to anyone else about her situation. I feel stuck between being loyal to my friend and needing to vent my own feelings and worries. I have no one else to talk to, and I feel isolated. That's why I'm turning to Reddit, hoping for some advice. How should I handle this? Should I confront Evelyn about her behavior? Should I tell someone else about what's happening? I don't want to lose my friend, but I can't continue feeling like this. I'm truly unsure about what to do and would appreciate any help or advice you can offer. Update 1. I decided to follow one of the suggestions I received here and talk to Evelyn again. I wanted to be honest and tell her directly that her confessions make me uncomfortable. When we sat down to talk, Evelyn was both surprised and a little irritated by my straightforward approach. I told her that we're best friends and best friends share everything, but I now feel deeply uncomfortable with the way she talks about her husband. I pointed out that Ron deserves respect and loyalty, just like my own husband does. I tried to explain how it affects me to hear her talk down about him and share all these details about her affairs. To my surprise, Evelyn said this is exactly what she needs. She told me she has no intention of stopping her discussions about her marital issues or her affairs. She doesn't seem to understand how much it's affecting me or how it could harm our friendship. I know what it means to be a stay-at-home wife to a highly successful man who has always been supportive and loyal. I would never dream of doing something like this to my husband. My role is to take care of our home, cook, and handle errands. We outsource cleaning, which was my choice, and as long as the house is spotless, that's all that matters. My job is to be there for him, anticipate his needs, and support him in every way I can. He does the same for me, constantly considering my well-being in every decision he makes. I reciprocate that respect, and that's why Evelyn's behavior infuriates me. Her actions and words make me question our friendship and my own situation. I'm at a loss about what to do next. I don't want to lose Evelyn as a friend, but I can't keep living like this. Has anyone been in a similar situation? How did you handle it? Update 2. Unfortunately, nothing has improved since my last update. Evelyn couldn't help herself and continues to share stories about her latest escapades. She justifies her behavior by saying she needs to gain experience in the bedroom to keep her husband satisfied. This has irritated me so much that I'm now seriously considering talking to Ron myself. I feel terrible keeping this from both my husband and Ron. If I tell my husband, he will most likely talk to Ron. If I don't tell my husband and it eventually comes out that I knew, my husband will be incredibly disappointed in me. He's a man of strong principles and moral values, and I can't bear the thought of losing his respect. To give you some context about Ron, he's incredibly respectful and always listens to Evelyn's opinions. Even though he has the final say on major decisions, he always prioritizes Evelyn and their children's well-being. He ensures Evelyn has everything she needs and much more. When Evelyn wanted a new car, all she had to do was mention which one she wanted, and Ron bought it. a $200,000 Mercedes. Evelyn scoffed and said he should have done it anyway, considering he makes over $4 million a year. She showed no gratitude at all. She complains that he makes all the decisions, yet when I asked her which decisions he made that she didn't agree with, she couldn't name a single one. Men like ours are typically very dominant. They take charge, make things happen, and are both highly intelligent and skilled at anticipating outcomes. For those who don't know, dominance and aggression are entirely different. Dominant men are confident and have no need to assert themselves through aggression. My husband, for example, would never yell at a housekeeper or talk down to a server. That kind of behavior is reserved for insecure men. Real men address issues firmly but with self-control, and that self-control is incredibly attractive. Evelyn's claim about needing experience made me curious and anxious. Is it true that a woman needs to be experienced to keep a man happy and faithful? According to my husband, who I asked out of curiosity, the answer is no. He said other things are far more important, and those things are learned together over time. What do you think? Is he right? My husband was my first, and I've never wanted anyone else. We met when we were 16, were part of the same friend group, and started dating around 19 or 20. I've never felt the desire for anything different. Evelyn's claims have been messing with my head, even though I know my husband would tell me if anything was wrong. I feel increasingly desperate and don't know which path to take. I don't want to be complicit in Evelyn's destructive behavior, but I feel trapped and unsure of how to act. Update 3. It became too much for me to handle alone. I decided to tell Ron everything. First, I talked to my husband about my concerns and how Evelyn's actions have been affecting me. After that conversation, I felt I had no choice but to go to Ron directly. I invited Ron over to our house while Evelyn was out on one of her adventures. When he arrived, I told him everything. How Evelyn has been unfaithful, how she talks down about him, and my own feelings of isolation and distress. It was heartbreaking to see Ron so emotional. He struggled to hold back tears. I offered him as much support as I could and suggested he might not want to be alone that night. I told him he was welcome to stay at our house or suggested a friend's place where he could process everything before making any decisions. After 2 days of reflection, Ron decided he wanted a divorce. Evelyn reacted furiously and blamed me for ruining everything. She took no responsibility for her actions and insisted it was all my fault. Now, they're in the middle of a divorce, and Ron is in a very bad place. Evelyn is also struggling. She's lost everything. Since they had a prenup, she won't receive a cent. Their children are nearly 18 and will decide for themselves where they want to live. They are furious with their mother, so it's likely they'll choose to stay with Ron. This has been an incredibly difficult process for me. I've always tried to be a good friend and support Evelyn, but her actions have had such a negative impact on my life. I feel guilty for having to intervene, but at the same time, I'm relieved Ron finally knows the truth and can make informed decisions. Through this, I've realized how much I value my husband. He is my rock, and it would be a massive mistake to take him for granted. It's easy to think I stay because of the financial comfort, but we got together when he didn't have a dime to his name. He's worked hard for everything we have, and I've supported him along the way. He's told me many times that his success wouldn't have been possible without me, which is incredibly comforting to hear. Even if we lost everything, I'd stay by his side without hesitation. His incredible qualities would remain, no matter how much money we had in the bank. Thank you to everyone who has read my posts and offered advice and support during this challenging time. It's been an emotional roller coaster, and I'm grateful for the chance to share my story here. I hope my experience can help someone else in a similar situation. The names, of course, are fictional. I don't want to expose anyone. Mary.
If you liked this story, please subscribe and give us a thumbs up. It helps a lot, and you won't miss out on any future stories. Take care and live your best life.